Okay, so we're gonna we started the recording so we could talk about some things about momentum, and it's come up a couple of times. Almost every year going through summer in network marketing, regardless of what company you're with, summertime is usually like things go woo, and that's typically why most companies hold their conventions and things like that in June, because for us, it wouldn't behoove us to have a convention in the middle of March because that's like real super busy time for us. So, they usually do those things in those slower times, for a lot of reasons. It's not taking like away from your prime time, so to speak. But it also is a real good time to help rejuvenate you and push you through the end of the year. So, in September comes the time when, a lot of that stuff has kind of gotten where, let me see if I can. Okay, I got it for you now. Okay, sorry, I was just trying to make sure I had everybody's lines down. Okay, so it really, like, this is kind of the time of year where people find themselves in a lull, or maybe, you've gone back a space, maybe you were gold and now you're not, maybe you were senior gold, now you're not, maybe you were ruby, now you're not, as far as points and stuff like that. So, Bridget shared this video and stuff with us, one of Sonia Dudley's calls, and I was going, I don't know if I can make that thing play on here. Do you think I can do that?
You might can. I know somebody had a hard time where you could see, but you couldn't hear. But I did post it in, I think I posted it in Runner Shining today too.
Okay. So, but I didn't want to post it before, the call, like in my group. So I'll post that to you after this call. But I saw this post before, and I wanted to read it to you, and it was posted in our Senior Ruby and Above. So it's a GEMS group, and she said, real life vulnerable post. I have been stuck in a rut. I've blamed every single thing in person but myself for going backwards in my business. I've lost rank. I've considered taking a break. I've spoken negatively. You name it, I've done it. I am done. I'm done being stuck. I'm throwing my line, and I'm going to move forward again. I'm ready to be myself again and get back into my positive mindset. I'm looking for some power partners. I'm real motivated. Power partners, accountability works, but this isn't going to be once a week. Hey, how's it going, chat? This is going to be a real solid, all-in accountability. And then she said, he's with me. I'm dreaming of coconutty drinks in Maui 2017. So, I share that to share this. If you're trying to go gold or you're trying to hit senior gold, you're not the only person in the company that gets stuck in a rut. It happens to all of us. Points go backwards for people. I've listened to several calls today, and one of them, was from Sonia Dudley. Like, I think Kelly said she shared that one. So, I'll share it too in our group. But, where Sonia Dudley talks about going backwards 3,500 points. Hear me, like 3,500 points. And those things happen. Like 3,500 points, I hope don't happen to a lot of people. But, it's really all about what you choose to do during that time. So, like I spoke with a team member today, and, like she had logged into back office, and she's like, look, I get in there and I just see my points are down, and I really, like, I can't today. Like, today is the day that I just want to stick my head in the sand and forget about it. Maybe I want to just go back to bed. Maybe I just don't want to do this whole Plexus thing at all today. Maybe I just want to take my time, move back a notch. Yeah, it's okay to give yourself a moment because we all have them. But it's not okay to give yourself a week, a month. You know, you can't go in and out and in and out and then expect your business to continue to thrive. That, you know, I feel like as leaders, it's been hard for us to address those things with our downline teams. And, you know, so I'm not trying to be the bad guy here, but I'm trying to be devil's advocate, I guess. You know, those are times when what you do is it's either going to move you forward and catapult you, or you are not going to move forward. I mean, just plain and simple. So you have to choose in those moments when you go into back office and you're down 100 points from last month, because trust me, those days will come for you. Right now, 100 points down for some of you, you're like not even got 100 points yet. You're like, really? But I promise you, and Kelly and Victoria can both attest to this, there's a day coming where you're going to be down 100 points and you're going to be like, what in the crap? Okay, so, you know, we can choose to ignore it or we can choose to do something about it. So what is going to get you out of that? It's like your everyday activities, your own IPAs, you're keeping your own funnel full and moving forward with it. You know, like you're not going to revive the dead. So if it's issues that you have, like with your downline team where you got all these people that are inactive and, you know, that's where your focus is, you need to kind of like change your focus, because you're not going to always resurrect the dead. That's not going to happen. So just focus on yourself and focus on recruiting. You know, like you work on building your business and gaining your own rock stars. That's the thing that you can do the most. If you feel like, oh, well, my warm network is exhausted, because that's how I felt. Like I've had this conversation numerous times with my uplines and said, you know, look, I was out of work for a while. I went back to work. I had a very, you know, small area of people that I worked with, and I kind of feel like I've exhausted it. Okay, so what do I do now? Like now, on the daily, I work on expanding my network. It doesn't mean that I go peak plexus to everybody that I speak to, but I'm genuinely working on making the connections and building relationships with people that I didn't have connections with before, and I didn't have relationships with before, you know, so that maybe eventually those things grow. So maybe plexus will come up in conversation at some point. But what you can't do is pretend it's not there, or say, hey, I'm going to just take a step back. Because when you take a step back, what you do when you take a step back is you quit on your team. And if you have one person on your team, you know, you have given up your right to quit. So for a lot of us, I mean, I just know that that's been like a big thing lately, because everybody's been like, well, crap, I'm not, you know, a senior goal will say to me, well, I'm not even going to be silver this month. You know, because my points are just, and the tail's been down. It happens. But the season is coming where it's the exact opposite of that's going to happen. And you're going to be like booming, and people are going to be joining, and like you're not going to know what to do with yourself. So take those times and like watch an extra training video. Like do your personal development so that when our in season hits, you're ready for it. Because I'm telling you, there's nothing worse that can happen than to have gone through all this time and not really prepped yourself. And then you have like 18 messages in one day from people that want to know, okay, well, you know, it's February 1st, and I said I was going to start in January, and now I only got, you know, till May before I want to be in a bathing suit. So, you know, like, let's get on with it. So that time's coming. So prep yourself like now during these little lulls that you have in doing all those personal development things and getting yourself ready for it. You know, be ready for those times coming and work on your own recruiting.
I was gonna say one thing, Alicia, that Alicia said was she mentioned something about the person today saying, I just want to get back in bed or whatever. Y'all, everybody has those times, and sometimes you need to just vent. You need to say, look, this is what's going on. But here's what I saw in a training video a while back that has really stuck with me, and I've tried. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not always 100% perfect. I know that comes as a shock to y'all. But you allow yourself, okay, I'm going to send this 1 minute voice clip to my upline, or I'm going to send this 1 minute voice clip to my best friend or whatever. And I am going to get it off my chest because I'm frustrated about X, Y, and Z. And then I'm done. And I got to go to the things I can control and do something about it. Because it's like Alicia said, sitting there and whining and complaining, you've exhausted energy that you could have been using on your business, and you've gotten nowhere. So it doesn't benefit you. So look at it like that. Take your minute to have your pity party. We all get there. We all get there multiple times a month probably. And that's okay, but you can't stay in that rut because otherwise you're never going to get there. One of the videos I watched today by Fallon Black, she said she literally took 9 months off. And she said it was stupid. She said, my points were in a tailspin. She said the people that didn't take 9 months off when they had this lull and they were frustrated, she said they're diamond now, and here I sit at Ruby. Now, obviously she's diamond now, but she said I could be diamond now if I hadn't taken those 9 months off to have my pity party. And that's kind of the mindset I think we forget. Like, it's not permanent. Your bad day is a bad day. It's not a bad career. It's not a bad month. It's not setting you up for failure. So we have to remember that it's a bad day. A customer quit. Who cares? Go to the grocery store and find someone else that needs these products. It's as simple as that, really.
So. Sorry, I had something that I meant to post the other day, and of course I didn't remember. I know where I was pressed. But it was like I'm a very visual person. So for me, when I saw this, it made sense, and I think it applies to everything. I think it applies to our business, but I also think it applies to, just in life in general. But it said, and obviously it's hypothetical, but it said you have $86,400 in your account and someone stole $10 from you. Would you be upset and throw out the $86,390 away in hopes of getting back at the one person that took your $10, or move on and live? It says, right, move on and live is what you would do. See, we have 86,400 seconds in every day, so don't let a negative 10 seconds ruin the rest of the 86,390. Don't sweat the small stuff. Life is bigger than that. So it's like, for me, visually, I'm like, okay, so, so you have even if you have a bad month where you feel like, okay, that didn't go like I was hoping, are you going to waste the other 11 in the year? Are you going to waste every day they're following because you're bummed out about that 1 month? I just saw it like a day or two ago. Sunday, I think I saw it. And I was like, because like I said, because I'm so visual, I was like, oh my gosh, I get it. Like that clicked for me, So, and it's true. We have a whole, every day we have a whole day that we decide how we spend it.
Very true. And if you tell yourself that you're going to be negative, or you tell yourself you're going to be down, you're going to be. My mom said that to me Sunday. I was all down in the dumps because I was home with my kids because they were well, but people at our church think they need to be like 48 hours well when even daycares don't do that. But anyways, I digress. I was home by myself on my 30th birthday with just me and my kids. And so I was having my own little pity party. And my mom said, you need to get over yourself. And I thought, how dare you? You're at the beach. And I'm home with my 4 kids on my birthday. And I hung up the phone with her mad as could be. And the more I thought about it, I was like, you know what? She's right. She said, you're going to ruin your day. And that's exactly how it is with our business. If we tell ourselves, I'm never going to be successful, then guess what? You're not. You're going to sit at silver. You're going to sit at gold, and you're going to be frustrated that Joe Schmo down the street joined a year after you and is now a diamond. But if you tell yourself, I can do this, I've had a bad day, but I'm not going to let it ruin me, then it won't. You'll be successful. We get in our own head, which is one reason not what to say when you talk to yourself.
Exactly. And that,
Alicia. Oh, sorry.
go ahead.
I was going to say, I also think, I mean, our business is like our life. You're going to have ups, you're going to have downs. If you got to the top easy with no problem, you would never appreciate getting to the top and how hard you worked for it.
For sure.
So, I mean, I just think of it that way. You're going to have your lulls, and that's cool. That's life.
Right.
And I'd rather work towards getting there and appreciate and see where we've come from and appreciate it more than just getting it handed to you.
Absolutely. And it's like today, like I got that message and it was like, I really don't want to deal with this or whatever. So I'm going to tell you what my response back to that was number one, we ain't got time to have pity party. Okay. Like and I said that, but that's why this person came to me, because she knew that I was going to tell her, like, suck it up, buttercup. Like, but here's why, because we've had enough of those days. Like, you're allowed one once in a while. You're not allowed one a week, because then, like, we can't do that. Like, there's not time for that. You can't do that in a normal job. You can't do that in a brick and mortar business. You certainly can't do that in this one, So whether you got a crappy day or not, okay, so let's get our head out of the sand and figure out what are we going to do to work on this. So issue number one was back office stuff. Okay, so I'm seeing all these white lines and my points are down. What am I looking at? What do I need to do? Well, right now we know that there's all these new fraud things going on with cards and stuff. So if you have not yet done so, you need to go and look in your back office and check your downline. And especially, because everybody on here has teams, so you definitely want to be doing that. And make sure if they had stuff that should have run, that it has gone, or if they typically order and they haven't had an order go through this month, make sure you reach out to them, because the fraud protection it's great and it's in place for a very good reason. But the smallest thing, I'm told, has made that where it will kick their card out. So, like, if, for example, if, like, my name on my account is Alicia V. Moore, and my name on my card is Alicia V. Moore, and in the system, I just have Alicia Moore, like, that could make it reject my card because the name is not the same as what it is on the credit card. So, we really want to make sure that we're looking at those things to make sure, because it may not be that all these people didn't plan on having their products. Maybe legit something going on with fraud, or is it something else going on? So have we followed up with them? Have we reached out to them? Are they taking their product? Are they, are they needing help troubleshooting? Like, let's get back to those things. If these are new people that have just gone inactive for no reason, like, we don't know why they're inactive, they're just inactive. Okay. So, like, those are the first steps to take. But, like, right now, we got 3 full days left, 3 full days left in the month. So you have enough time still to make sure you're working through those things. So make sure that you do check those out. I mean, I know we posted about it on our team pages and stuff, and sometimes that stuff gets missed, but that's like real critical stuff. If somebody's card's not going to go through, you're not going to have your points. They're not going to be there because people's products not getting ordered. So those are, sometimes they're tedious things and we don't love them, but those are things that we have to do. And then beyond that, and I know Kelly mentioned this on the video that she posted the other day, you got to get back to your self-recruiting. Like that, I think, and I preached to myself about this, and, I said this to Bridget when we left that Leslie Dan training. I'm like, this is my problem, is that I let my own funnel go empty because I worry too much about, let me get on this Zoom with this group, let me get on this Zoom with this group. Like, and I literally, between my kids and trying to help everybody else, I wasn't working myself. I wasn't working my own business. I wasn't expanding my own networks. And you have to do you first. Like, you have to have worked your own business, that the layout of 5-3-1, and then, we'll say +1 is like that for a reason, because all those things, if it's a traditional reaching out to 5, following up with 3, training 1, and then plus the 1 for yourself, you notice it starts big. That's your business, and it works its way down to working with one ambassador a day. And the bigger your team gets, you're going to work with more than one ambassador in a day, probably. But the point there is that you have to be working yours first. And it's a very difficult mentality when you start to grow your team, because you're trying to do this and this and this and this for all these different people. But if you're not working your own and you're not growing your own, you're not going to get where you want to be. Does that make sense, Joel?
For sure. And y'all, I know it's probably redundant. Those of you that didn't see that video, I mentioned that was a struggle for me, was reaching out to my 5. I have not been cold messaging. And I feel like most of us on this call, if we're honest, will say that we haven't been cold messaging either like we should or like we have in the past. It's something that we've slacked on because we've been working with our team. But plan it out. I know I sat down, I did a coaching call on Monday, and that was one suggestion we had for time management, was map it out, because then when you go to bed and you look at your planner or you look at your phone or wherever you map it out and you see that you didn't do that, you're like, crud, okay, 15 minutes, I can do this. And so I took my own advice. I sat down and I mapped out 5 people a day for the week. And y'all, I literally just went, I hadn't messaged my 5 people. Because it's in my face. I'm looking at my planner, and it holds you a lot more accountable, and you'll get back into that routine, and that may become not as necessary. But in the moment, when you're in that management mode and you're not working your personal business, do it to hold yourself accountable, for real. I'm going to have to do it for probably a month to hold myself accountable, to get back in the routine of cold messaging.
Well, and I think, the accountability thing, Bridget did an IPA group with leaders this month, and that's helped me tremendously, just to get back on making sure, because you don't want to go on there and say you didn't do anything. I'm not saying, that's not the objective. And with my team, we did the IPA group this month, and I started the one I'm setting up for October. I really encourage you to sign up to do that, because, it's just your sideline team members are in there, and everybody's got the same goal. You're not in competition with anybody. It's just an accountability thing. But then you're really looking at, okay, this is what I'm doing. And I think if we do that, a couple of months in a row, then maybe you let yourself take a month off of doing the IPA group and see how you do, and then come back the next month and do it. So I don't expect everybody to have to do all of them, but as a leader, if you have a team member that signed up for it, you should go into it, whether you're participating or whether you're observing. I think it makes sense for you to be in there just so that you can kind of help coach, because you have a team member that signed up to do an IPA group and they don't ever participate in it. Well, and they're like, I want to be senior gold by the end of the month or by the end of the year. Well, we have a little conflict there, and that's a great segue for you to be able to talk to them about that. Because if they're not committed to doing the activity, they're not going to get to the goal that they're ultimately looking to get to,
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to kind of talk to y'all about that, because it's come up a couple of different things. Like I said, I totally had a completely different agenda. But 3 or 4 things came up today. So I literally on my way to the meeting / dinner thing that I have with 3 of my downlines, I really I was like, nah, I think we really need to just talk about this, because it is that time, and Leaders Retreat is next month. So a lot of exciting things are going to start happening. We're going to find out where convention is next year. I highly recommend that as soon as you know where convention is next year, when they open it up for us to register, you need to register like right then. Like go ahead and commit that to yourself. Block out your date, go to convention. Like it's a must do for yourself, for your business. If you're looking to take this all the way, make that commitment and plan it now. Super Saturdays.
Also, if you don't do it then, like that, the convention sold out within months. Like people waited last minute and then they couldn't get tickets for it because they sold out. So
exactly.
As soon as it opens, you register for it. And worst case scenario is you end up getting a refund and your ticket gets to someone else. But at least you know your place is saved.
Exactly. And when they open that up, it's cheaper first thing. So it's going to be cheaper for you to do it then. But the other thing that I'll tell you that will be coming within the next month or so, maybe 2 months, about 6 weeks, is going to be Super Saturday registration. And they host them in different cities across the United States, and it's all on the same day. And ours is, give me 1 second and I'll tell you the date because I do have to look at my calendar because I'm not that good. It is January the 7th. So go ahead and block that on your calendar, January 7th. Like there probably will be one near you that you want to go to, even for you guys that are out of state. But those jokers fill up with some quickness. I mean, like I know people that were jewels that did not register for Super Saturday last year, and like, I mean, you're talking like a jewel that doesn't have a name badge for Super Saturday because they like made our name badges and stuff this last year. They didn't do that like that the year before, but they will sell out. They sell out very quickly, and that's another thing that you don't want to wait on. So when you hear that, I think Super Saturday was like $17 or something like that.
Yeah, I want to say this year it was 20 because we got the bracelet.
It was $19.99.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's the most it's been. It was 17 the year before.
Yeah, I mean, and then this year,
really good. Like it's really, really good. I still remember my first Super Saturday with Josh Pilgrim speaking in Macon. We all had a caravan of people that went to Macon, and seriously, it's really good. You will want to be there for sure.
I mean, and like last year it was $20, I guess y'all said, but like the people that got there first, like we had Boost and X Factor chewables, and we just gave one, like it was a very like here, like you didn't get to pick or whatever, but they had a certain number of certain amount of products there, and they gave us free product. So I mean, like if you got there early enough to get the free product, you're welcome the new Success Kit, which cost $19.99. So you got that basically free. And then you also got a bottle of product, which you could then, like, if you wanted to use it as an incentive, if you wanted to take it yourself, if you wanted to have it in your stock to sell to somebody, So, I mean, and they didn't give us product at the first one that I went to, but I mean, you just don't ever know. You don't know what you're in for when it comes to Super Saturdays. So make sure that you're ready for those events. And I'm telling y'all that now because it's going to happen sooner than you think. And with our calls being bi-monthly, I think they normally come at the beginning of November, somewhere like that, for us to sign up for Super Saturday. So, like, I don't want you to miss that. Make sure that you're ready for those two things that will be coming up, and register yourself for them. And like Alicia said, if you worst case scenario, if you register for a convention and then you can't go, you can always get a refund on your ticket, but at least you've held your spot at that point in time,
Mm-hmm.
But also register your hotel too that same day.
Oh, yeah, for real.
Because if you don't, you'll lose the block rooms. Like I registered that same day, and then a girl on my team registered, I want to say a month later, literally, and her room was like $300 more. I mean, it was ridiculous because they had already sold out our block rooms. So, and you could cancel those at any time too before you go. So,
Yeah, they sold out our hotel like that first month.
yep.
I mean, it was done. So yeah, those are just some tips as leaders that you want to know. So you can share those things with your teams too. You know, like when these things are coming out, like it's very vital, and they're really, truly, they are business changing things for you to show up to. Victoria, I know we can't see your sweet face, but did you have anything else to say or add?
I don't think so. I was thinking of something when y'all were talking about Super Saturday, but hold on a second. Let me think for a second, because now I feel like it's left my brain. Oh, I know. With Super Sat, I was just thinking back to when Kelly was talking about the one with Josh Pilgrim, and really how fantastic it was. It was like, first of all, I loved because it was very interactive. So like, it was like you were sitting there and you were training, but also they were having you do things where it was like right then you were working the things they were telling you instead of going home and having to remember to then put into action everything that they told you to do. And two, you know, sometimes with the end of the year and the holidays, you know, you do kind of see it slow down just a hair, because, you know, people's priorities are not in the same spot as they are, you know, unfortunately, come January 1st or as we get close to summer every year and things like that. So with that being said, it was so nice because it was like you know, you kind of came out of the you know, holidays, so to speak, and we're like, okay, well, you know, you were ready for that refresher. You were ready to, you know, to kind of jumpstart again. And so it's really nice to plan to be at Super Saturday because I feel like it does that. It does that for you, you know.
Absolutely. And Melissa just sent me something that, which is a really good idea. She said she's going to do an incentive for like part of her team maybe to pay for their Super Saturday. So like you could even think of doing something like that. Like if you wanted to do something where, you know, I'll reimburse you for your Super Saturday or something like that. You know, that.
Another, yeah, and another idea kind of along that same line that I think we did last year was, or maybe it was the beginning of this year for Super Saturday, but it was, or maybe it was for convention, I can't remember. Kelly probably has a better memory. But it was like whatever incentive we did that month included, like if you're registered for Super Saturday or if you're registered for convention, like that was one of the
Yep.
you know, qualifications that got you entered into a drawing for whatever the incentive was for that month.
Mm-hmm.
So just something to keep in mind for, you know, like especially with because Super Saturday will be the next thing to register for. That would be something good to keep in mind, you know, for all teams, is to have that, you know, kind of included in some kind of incentive, just as a way to encourage them to get there. I mean, I know that it's a Saturday, and you know, people feel like they can't go and do a lot right after the holidays, but it's really the cost is so next to nothing. You know, I mean, we
Absolutely.
blow $20 every week on shenanigans. So
Yeah. And we'll probably do, when we get closer to time, we'll plan out like meet to eat after or something like that, because I do feel like that's really helpful in encouraging people to come when they know that they're going to be able to be with people they know. It's a little less intimidating. And it's a time to socialize with their team. So when it gets closer to time and we know kind of a head count, we'll be looking for places close by to do that, to have a dinner afterwards or whatever. So
Absolutely. Okay, y'all. Well, that's all that that I have for tonight. Kelly, do you have anything else you want to?
No, I think that's good.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna stop our recording then, and I will. I'll probably just post